Hi, I'm Spanish Mermaid and welcome to my cooking channel, Cooking with Spanish Mermaid. Today I'm going to teach you how to make some delicious stuffed yuca with fresh cheese. Okay, so to make these delicious stuffed yuca frites, you're going to need yuca. I bought the frozen kind, but of course if you have the fresh, it's obviously better, but I'm trying to make my life a little bit easier and for you as well. And you just follow the directions. You're going to need to boil this, and when it's ready, then you take it out and I'll show you the rest, okay? Then we're going to have some Peruvian yellow pepper. I use Doña Isabel, and it's delicious. And this is also optional because you can actually dip the cheese into it, and I'll show you that in the video as well. Then we have some salt. We have 2 eggs here. If you have the brown eggs, you just need 1, but since I have the smaller ones, I use 2. Then we have some baking powder. Then we have some fresh cheese, and this is optional because you can replace that with mozzarella. And then we have some flour here. So before I start working on my yuca frites, I've taken a pan and I've put some oil, and I'm going to actually start preheating it to just before medium heat. Now that my yuca is boiled, I've cooled it down just a little bit. I have to start mashing this. And of course you want to remove any of those thick hairs in between that you see. So you're going to mash this whole thing just like that. I know it can be a little bit tricky, but have a little bit of patience. And these are the little hairs I'm talking about. They look like this, and that is what we don't want. Should look like this. So now I've transferred the yuccas that I've mashed up with my fork, and I've transferred it to a bowl. The next step is to crack these 2 eggs, and we're going to whisk this and add the baking powder and a little bit of salt. As I said, I'm going to whisk it. And then I'm going to add the baking powder, add a little whisk of salt, and I'm going to add this to the yuca. Now you're going to have to use your hands to put this together. So I'm just going to put this aside. And I always like to add a little bit of salt on this as well. And I'm going to start mixing this. So now that I've added the egg to the yuca mixture, the next step is to first I want to flour my hands a little bit, just like that. It just makes working with this a bit easier. Then I'm going to take little balls of the yuca mixture, just like this. Take a little bit less. Actually, you know what? I'll put that back. We're just going to roll it through the flour, okay? We're going to let this rest for just a minute, and we're going to do this for the whole yuca mixture. Yucca mixture and let it rest just for a few minutes. And I always like to add just a little dash of salt, just in case. We're gonna start working on getting the fresh cheese. And you can actually dip this into the Peruvian yellow pepper. Again, this is optional for those that like a little spice. Otherwise, you leave it alone. And just remember, you can always use mozzarella as well, okay? And to make this easier, I'm going to put a little bit of flour on my hands just in case. So we're going to take one. Essentially, we're going to create a little crater. I'm going to show you. I'm going to put a little bit of the panca pepper. That's it. Put it in there. You probably use another one as well. And then we are going to close it like this. Okay. Roll it up. And you can make it into a teardrop or a bowl, whatever works for you. It's all about preference. Then I'm going to put this, just put a little bit of flour on top so it doesn't stick, back on the dish. And you're going to do this with all of them. Now that I'm unrolling these, your stuffed yucca should look like this. Alright, so I'm going to start taking these out because they have reached that golden color I've been looking for. Just for your reference, this is the color you're looking for. And I'm going to put them aside on the plate that I put some paper towels on so I can suck up a little bit of the grease. And I'll do this to all of them. And now this is the finished product. Look at that. Delicious cheese in the middle. I can't wait to eat this. And don't forget to subscribe and to check me out on Instagram as well at Spanish_mermaid. Thanks, guys.